Welcome to Lair of the Alchemist, where we discuss all things heavy metal and hard rock. On today's episode, another in a series of what I call heavy hidden gems from the 70s. This is where I highlight an obscure, unknown bands that fly under a lot of people's radar that are heavy proto-metal, proto-doom that I think you should give a listen to. So the band that I've selected for today is a band from Kansas called Bulbous Creation. Now, I'm going to hold up the album cover here on my iPad because I was unable to find a CD or a vinyl copy of this. They're all well out of print and go for a lot of money on eBay or on the internet. But as you can see from the cover, I don't think that this cover was, I'm sure, added when this was reissued later on, because I'll tell you the backstory of this record. So the band Bulbous Creation is from Kansas, and they formed in the late 60s. And in 1971, they went into a studio and recorded this album, basically playing live. The band broke up afterwards, and they did not have any money to press this. So it sat in demo form, unheard by anyone for years, until it eventually leaked out, and it has been released by one or two various reissue style labels. Unfortunately, right now it's out of print. You can listen to it on Spotify. I will be putting a link in the description to my Heavy Hidden Gems playlist, where I did a video earlier with Captain Beyond and Sir Lord Baltimore, and I will add some Bulbous Creation songs to that. Now, the album. For 1971, this is a really heavy, in a unique way, album. And what do I mean by that? The production on this album is very simple, very plain. It's very dry. It sounds like they went in, played live, and there's no real overdubs, or it's just guitar, keyboards, bass, drums, and vocals. And the dryness and the lack of production, if you will, just adds to this sort of dusty, old, creepy feel of this album. The guitar isn't super distorted. It's got really kind of a dry, slightly distorted sound. The keyboards are really subdued. The vocalist has a kind of a mid-rangey voice, doesn't sing too high, it doesn't sing too low, kind of like right in the middle. He's got a good clean voice. The drums are really dry, but you can hear everything. The bass, the drums, everything is really clear, just in this really kind of lo-fi, cobwebby, dusty way, which in my opinion really adds to the vibe of the whole record. So some of the songs on the record that I really liked. End of the Page is the opening track, and it's this sort of picked guitar, moody. The guitar eventually strums along with it. It's sort of this sinister ballad, if you will. The next song that I really liked is called Satan, which has this cool bass and guitar riff that it doubles, and the vocals, the lyrics are sort of this "stay away from me, Satan" kind of vibe. You're bad news, Satan. One of my favorite songs on the record is called Fever Machine Man, which has this heavy kind of Sabbathy, this groovy, like down, 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 heavy, almost like a stoner rock type groove to it. And the lyrics are about a man turned into a war machine, a killing machine. Society turns him into this. It reminds me a little bit of the theme along the lines of Black Sabbath's Iron Man. It has that same kind of lyrical theme. He's turned into a machine and he comes back to kill everybody. Let's Go to the Sea is another one that I really like. It starts off with this heavy kind of tribal rhythm, and it's got this kind of snaky, bluesy guitar riff that runs, lick that runs through the beginning of the song. I also really like a song called Under the Black Sun, which has these sort of end of the world lyrics and this chugging guitar riff, and it's got a jamming guitar solo and keyboard solo that take the song out. Now, none of the players in this band are virtuosic in any way. It's really pretty simple. Uh, There isn't a ton of guitar solos. There's really not a lot of keyboard solos. In fact, the keyboards are pretty subdued on this record. It's a pretty straightforward record, but that's sort of what makes it work. The simple nature of the mix, the simple riffs, and the old-fashioned dated mix just give it an atmosphere to it that I think is really, really cool. And if you're a fan of 70s hard rock with a little bit of a more cold feel to it, check out this band, Bulbous Creation. You Won't Remember Dying, the name of the record. There's a couple tunes on here that are just throwaway blues tunes. Stormy Monday, which is a blues standard. Having a Good Time, which is the second song on the album. And that seems to be a common theme for a lot of these early 70s bands that only maybe had one record. You'll have these really almost metal songs on the album, but then you'll have these sort of songs that don't really fit. And in this case, it's Stormy Monday and Having a Good Time. But there's 8 songs in total, so 6 of them are really, really good. So please check them out. They're on YouTube. If they're on Spotify, they're probably on the other streaming services too. So make sure you check the link if you're on Spotify that I'm leaving in the description so you can check out some Bulbous Creation, You Won't Remember Dying. All right, that's it for today. Make sure you leave a comment. Please subscribe, hit like, all that stuff. And until we see you next time, remember to stay heavy, stay metal.